Chapter 2 is entitled My Name is Ivor, I'm an Engine Driver. Now the reason I gave it this title was because of my love of steam trains, but also it's a memory of the Who album, Tommy, in which one of the tracks on the album is called My Name is Ivor, I'm an Engine Driver. Now, one of the biggest influences and game changers in my life is a man called Thomas Cook, who was the founder of the package holiday. So I'm going to read an extract from chapter 2, which tells a little bit about the story of Thomas Cook. Now, he came to act as a major inspiration in my life. He was the founder of a global travel empire, and he's the person who originated the traveller's check. I first discovered something of Thomas Cook's story when I was living in Market Harborough in the 1990s, and as my hobby is acting, I auditioned for a part in a pro-am musical at the Leicester Haymarket Theatre to celebrate the anniversary of the very first trail travel excursion. And it was during the 3-week run of this play, which was called Follow the Man from Cook's, that I first appreciated the extraordinary impact of Thomas Cook's life, not only on the travel industry, but also on our daily lives, and also about the lessons we can still learn from him and how to innovate and shape the world that we live in. Thomas Cook was the son of a Methodist preacher. He was born in Melbourne in Derbyshire. He got married and he moved to Market Harborough, where he plied his trade as a cabinet maker. He and his family lived in a tiny house in an alley called Quaker's Yard in the centre of the town, and it was a freak accident that changed his life and set in motion a series of events that led to the formation of one of the best known global travel brands from these humble, very humble and unlikely origins. Now, Thomas Cook was attacked by a drunken man wielding the thigh bone of a horse, and he was badly injured in the process. And it was this experience that led him into the temperance movement, and his relationship with William Symington, a well-known businessman in the town, that led to him attending temperance meetings in Market Harborough, which for a small market town allegedly had one of the highest proportions of inns and alehouses per head of the population. And it was this passion for converting his fellow man away from the evils of alcohol abuse that led him one fateful day to set out walking to Leicester, now some 15 miles away, for yet another temperance meeting. As he stopped to rest about halfway on his journey near the village of Kibworth, he had a blinding vision which suggested that he should harness the power of steam to the temperance movement. He suddenly realised that he could fulfil his passion to benefit his fellow man by opening up new horizons to them through travel to new places and new experiences. So his reasoning was that if he could make it possible for the man in the street, or better still, the man in the pub, to journey to other towns, cities, and even countries, their lives could be transformed and they would lose interest in alcohol. Sadly, his success in bringing tourism to the masses did little to curb an interest in alcohol, and indeed it's arguable that he achieved almost exactly the opposite of what he intended. But directly as a result of this vision, he organised the world's first package holiday trip, and it was a train journey from Leicester to Loughborough, about 12 miles, and about 600 people paid to enjoy a day out, listening to temperance speeches and brass bands, along with a picnic in the local park. Thomas Cook's success with this venture led him to organise many more trips, initially to major events such as the Great Exhibition in London, and later on to many foreign lands and world tours where he often acted as the tour guide for his parties. Apart from admiring his enterprise and passion for the good of his fellow man, I learned an enormous lesson about the power of communications technology and how it can be harnessed to change the world. Because Thomas Cook used an emerging communications network to make a new and innovative service attractive, accessible and affordable. And it's this combination of attractiveness, accessibility and affordability which is so relevant today as we seek to harness the power of modern communications, infrastructures and technologies. He made his travel packages attractive by bringing dreams of new experiences into humdrum everyday lives. He made them accessible by tapping into a burgeoning and ubiquitous travel network and, importantly, removing any perceived barriers to travel through the package and tour guide concept and the invention of the traveller's check. And he made them affordable by developing mass market appeal and negotiating bulk rates for his tour parties. As Thomas Cook was a typical social entrepreneur, not motivated by profit, but passionate about his work and his fellow man. Some years after he moved his family home and his travel headquarters to the city of Leicester, and his son John Mason Cook came into the business, and he rebelled against what he saw as his father's lack of business acumen. John Mason Cook eventually took over the business and removed his father from the company he had founded, and Thomas Cook died a blind and broken man, devastated also by the death of his beloved daughter, who was asphyxiated by a faulty gas heater in their bathroom. So chapter 2 I'm dedicating to Thomas Cook and the impact that he had on my life. And I only wish that the technologies that I'm using now to make this story available in virtual reality, not available in Thomas Cook time, because I would love to have heard him tell his story himself.